Alright, so, my last video for my Lightning Wizard has disappeared. I recorded so much last week, I just lost the video somewhere. I'm sure I'll find it. I might have put it in my backups accidentally. But we are going to re-record it, and hopefully it'll be a better record this time, because actually that last video, I was in a rift with some pretty terrible players. So, this will hopefully be a better demonstration of the Lightning build. It's spawned off of my Wand of Woe build and has given up on the Wand of Woe. It's actually it's still a good wand, and the build is still okay, but there's a lot more going on options wise for everything related to your wizard. Excuse me. And Lightning is no exception to having more options. So what we're going to do with this Lightning build is it's going to show off a really nice combination that helps channeling builds immensely, and that is your channeling spell plus magic weapon conduit. In this case, static discharge for Arcane Torrent. Each missile explodes into 2 piercing bolts of electricity that each deal 150 weapon damage as lightning. Now these extra little bolts, they're good for proccing your paralysis, but they're also really good at proccing conduit, to the point where static discharge will actually regain you a lot of your arcane power. And I'm not even joking on this. If we if we go out into the field, we'll go to something that's really easy to fight. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to equip Star Pact real quick, because this will drain our arcane power. So if we Star Pact, as you can see, the little static bolts are actually aiding in our arcane power regeneration, to the point where it's all back. Yes, it's worth it to go to the Survivor's Enclave. But this Blizzard build, this Wizard build, is really fun, and I highly recommend playing around with channeling abilities with Conduit, because Arcane Torrent Flame Ward and your various Disintegrates and Arcane Torrent Cascade all work with Conduit. The only difference is, with all of those, you won't actually get a gain on your arcane power in addition to your normal regen. You'll end up with your arcane power will actually just sit at a line. And I'll do a video after this one sometime displaying that. So the build itself is Arcane Torrent Static Discharge, as I mentioned. Blizzard Lightning Storm, because I can't think of any other lightning ability to put here that supports the build. I thought about maybe Lightning Hydras, but I don't have a second Serpent Sparker. Black Hole Supermassive. This could really be any of your black holes. I'd go with Supermassive, Event Horizon, or Spellsteal. I'm using Supermassive because it's a giant dot. It is just a giant black hole, and this will either pull everything in or stun it, and either is a great thing to happen. Magic Weapon Conduit, as I mentioned, and Energy Armor, Prismatic Armor. Now, I could potentially, with the absurd amount of toughness this guy still has, I could potentially switch to, of all things, Storm Armor and keep the lightning theme going. Or even drop the armor altogether, and I may attempt that later. But for now, I want as much toughness as possible so I can stay as still as possible. And this guy has a ridiculous amount of toughness. So the passives are Blur, Unwavering Will, Astral Presence, and Paralysis. Astral Presence could potentially be dropped for Unstable Anomaly if you need the oh shit ability, but right now he doesn't, because he's not really going into higher greater rifts, and he can survive Torment 6 pretty well. His sets I'm combining together are the Ashera set, which is probably where he gets all of his ridiculous toughness from, And also the Captain Crimson set because of its reductions and more toughness. I have 30% cooldown reduction, which is just fine for keeping Black Hole up and getting teleport back up. No illusionist, so that's kind of important. And the other big thing is I do have 30%, 31.44% cost reduction, because when you only have one monster, these little side bolts will hit, but it is just an advantage for you to keep your channeling spell as cheap as possible regardless. And between the regeneration and the cost reduction and conduit, this is pretty much always going to be going. I've got Augilds for toughness. I do actually still have just a lot of toughness gear on him. His Reigning Royal Grandeur, I do want to get either a better one with crit or reroll that damage into a socket, because he doesn't have Bane of the Powerful. He's my only wizard without it yet, because he needs Taguk. Taguk is amazing for him because 23 stacks of the buff is not hard to get when you're channeling. And there it is. It's not hard to get that, and it's a big damage boost. He doesn't have a lot of raw DPS because he's from the Wand of Woe school of build. And I've actually got I've had two pieces of Tal Rasha to get the 100 extra all res and the Arcane Regen, because regen to me is still important with this, and I do have Strong Arms worked in here. Part of me does want to try out putting a different bracer on, even though this is a great boon to him, specifically Augilds, and then putting the third Tal Rasha piece in here to max Tal Rasha out, and working in Meteors, but that is not necessary. So what we're going to do is, because this build, it isn't bad in Torment 6 on its own, it can definitely solo it, it performs best as a DPS support. Because of the paralysis, you're going to be paralysis, the blizzard, and supermassive, you're actually going to be keeping enemies relatively still. And my last note, I will say, I actually have no idea what I could put in place of blizzard aside from Lightning Hydra. It may be worth it to maybe do a familiar. Yeah, I honestly am out of lightning things I could use for that. I don't like Archon. Maybe Mirror Images if I wanted more black holes. I mean, I could potentially run Explosive Blast in that spot, but I think having the Blizzard and then Arcane Torrenting the area, because the Blizzard gives you 15% more damage, is just fine. It doesn't meet Firebirds, obviously, but this is a fun lightning build for your wizard. So what we're going to do is leave the game, and we're going to come back in a public game and clear out some rifts with the lightning wizard. Hopefully this time I'll pull a good team. So there will be a little edit, and we'll be back in the back into electrocute everything. And we're back in a rift with the lightning wizard. Oh yeah, throw him back on me, guys. Thanks. Now, as you can see, you're going to see a lot of stars over the enemy's head. So the paralysis is really solid, and I'm not getting any support from my team. Apparently it is beyond this other wizard to come and help me. What are you doing? I don't know. I don't know about pulling a good team this time. Okay, so between the two of us, we could probably clear out this rift like it's nothing. So the standard rotation is you black hole, you blizzard, and then you just start channeling. You reinforce your blizzard whenever you need to. Generally speaking, it's okay to lose your channel to get that blizzard back up, because it's 15% more damage for you and anyone else who's using lightning. Is it any? Okay, yeah. It just says 15% increased damage from lightning. I would assume that's anyone's lightning. You'll also knock enemies out quite a bit. As you can see, my arcane power is not suffering in the least. I'm actually keeping up with everyone. That's always a good sign with your build. Open the chest, stupid. There we go. Oh, I need blues. Oh, I need blues. So I have something like 700 hours across all three of my characters, and it's like, I need blue items of all things. Blue items and topazes. Just give me all them topazes. Give me all them topazes. Yeah, this guy still doesn't have fully upgraded gems either. I'm sure someone noticed that when I looked at the gear. I mean, they're both legendary gems, and I just don't have the number of topazes to get flawless royal gems in every slot. Also, there's my rule about keeping your, like, you can break your channel. It's okay to break your channel if you're about to die. I think the three of us have a really nice setup because the fire wizards are DPS, we've got a tank, and I can do support / DPS fairly well. We just need that other monk down here. Now, one thing you can do with your Taguk bonus to keep it going is actually cast your Blizzard when you don't need to cast your Blizzard or Black Hole, because those cost Arcane Power, and as soon as you spend Arcane Power, your Taguk triggers. So, if I really wanted to, I could go running around and just watch my Taguk cooldown and just make sure I cast a blizzard to keep it going. I'm not going to do that though, because I don't actually really think it's worth the effort to do that. Toguko just build up so fast when you're channeling anyways. I'm curious to see how much this does me. That did nothing to me. I guess the other monk is down here now. Hooray! As you can see, even arcane... This guy's so tough, like, arcane beams are even... Like, whatever. I don't want to stand in them forever, but... Yep, this is obviously going to be a little slower than your Firebird set, but still, it's fun to not have it's fun to have a wizard that is not that build. I mean, part of the game is to just have fun with what you're doing. Though I do think every elemental type should get its own set on the Firebird's level. Oops. I have a mental image whenever a wizard screws up a teleport like that, that he just ends up just, you know, forcing himself into a wall so fast he just turns into like a splat mark. Or it's like falling onto the surface of a neutron star. He just becomes part of the wall. Now I do have Wreath of Lightning, and I think Wreath of Lightning is a handy additional amount of damage for this build, but not necessary in any way, shape, or form. Wreath of Lightning, though, also does trigger your conduit, so that's probably part of the reason I can keep my channeling going so well. So for that, I would definitely recommend it. That was probably the stupidest thing that guy could have, that enemy could have done. Just jump right into the boss, right where all the fire is. Incidentally, I think this guy might be able to tank Gom's poison. I should have tested it right there. And we go back to town. So, that was a Lightning Wizard Rift. I may put another Lightning Wizard video up. If anyone's interested in it. Oh, how I want a Stone of Jordan for this guy.
I have a new ally in my group.
Let's go and see if Kadal will give me one.
What a steal.
I can't afford
Nope.
that.
You bitch. Let's end this on you bitch.